momentum in the cannabis industry. We're here in Greeley, Colorado, and we're making history today. Because this is the very first time in U.S. history that there is a bank-sanctioned event that talks about cannabis. So we're excited about this. We're excited about the people in the room that have come from all over Colorado, probably born all over the U.S., and we're excited about sharing with you about some of the insights about the cannabis industry. The first, this is the first of three different parts. The first part is going to be on fascination and commitment. For those of you that are already in the industry, here's what you know. People don't get in this industry unless they're fascinated by it. When you're fascinated by something, it means you can't take your eyes off of it. You remember the gentleman that was filming the little baby deer with the little rabbit? Remember that? It got 6 million views on YouTube. You remember that? It was so fascinating. People had to share it. And that's what cannabis is all about. When you find somebody who's in the industry, they can't shut up about it. Man, are they excited about it. And you can just start talking and people will overhear you and say, oh, I'm in that too. And the next thing you know, you have 2 or 3 really great friends that you bumped into at Starbucks. Well, Hemp Business Advisors helps individuals and companies in the cannabis industry that are looking to grow and looking to start a business. So that's what we want to do. So this is history. This has never happened. If you research right now about a bank hosting a topic that used to be illegal, in some ways is illegal, then you understand that we are really primed in America to explode in this industry. And we're going to talk about some of the challenges and some of the great opportunities you have that maybe you've not heard about so far. Therefore, this is a springboard date, because we now bridge the chasm from the illegal to the inevitable. Every single person knows that eventually marijuana is going to be legal in America. And the reason why that is, well, you have to see the rest of the presentation. All right, so here's some of the introduction. We're going to talk about in our first part here, the law of momentum, the irresistible factor, and the industry identifiers, how you can recruit the correct people into this industry. So let's talk about the law of momentum a little bit. Number one, creating momentum is a natural law and can be utilized in any industry at any time by anyone in any culture. This is a law of the universe, like the law of gravity. If I drop my remote point, amazing in Greeley, it still goes down, right? But it goes down because I know the name of the law of gravity. I also know that it has to do with weight, mass, speed, and velocity. However, if you go to Africa, because I lived in South Africa for 7 years, and you give this to an African, because they don't know the terminology, the law, and because they don't know anything about it, when they drop it, it goes up. It's not true, is it? It goes down. Some of you are not awake yet. Okay? So it goes down because it's a law. If you don't know what the law of momentum is, you will struggle in any industry because you have anti-momentum, and you will not connect with the right people at the right time for the right reason who need your products and services. So if you understand about the law of momentum, you will grow your business. So it is the invisible energy force because you can't see it. You don't know if somebody's got momentum. There's not an M on their forehead to prove that they have momentum. That you can directly create, build, and maintain in order to have forward movement that is the foundation for becoming an entrepreneurial vortex. Right now, the speed in the cannabis industry, the industry itself is a vortex. It is literally causing people to even move out of their state and move to different states because they're so excited about what's happening. You're going to see some of the greatest inventions that the world has ever seen in this industry, and I hope you're ready to be revolutionized by it. Lastly, how do you create it? You focus on one thing. Every single entrepreneur that's young, that hasn't started a lot of companies, you know what they do? They try to do 10 things at one time, and then they fail at all 10, or they're always mediocre. A true entrepreneur will say this: if I am called into the cannabis industry, there is nothing else I will do until I launch my company, and I won't start 10 things until I've succeeded in it. That means that every single day when you wake up, your thought is, I'm starting my cannabis industry. I'm starting my company. I'm starting my company. What you say, think, feel, act, do all aligns, and your momentum and power will flow into that. So if you're wanting to get into this industry, don't dabble in it. Either get in or get out. But people are not going to be successful if you have one foot in and one foot out. So So you want to have momentum? Be focused. What makes a product irresistible? Right now, if you go out in Colorado, and you go to 10 different CBD stores, you know what you're going to find? 10 different CBD products. Now here's what's interesting. If you were to buy, let's say the exact same size and the exact same potency of CBD oil, and you line those 10 up in a row, you know what you're going to find? If you brought 10 people here and you said you can only pick out 3, they will consistently pick out the same 3 bottles. Do you know why that is? Because whoever created those specific bottles had the right type of momentum, and when they put it in their bottle, it was so irresistible that people had to buy it. If you don't believe me, just go to NOCO Hemp Expo coming up. It's one of the largest in Colorado, and you'll find what? Booth after booth, stall after stall of the same product, and watch. This stall will be empty, and this stall will have 3 lines going back. So, if you're going to be in products, make sure you understand these 5 simple principles. Number 1, the person's multifaceted needs are met. One of the best things about cannabis is it doesn't just focus on people who have insomnia. Okay? If you have insomnia, they have different tinctures that you can take. You can take edibles. You can take so many different things that can help you with that. But it doesn't stop there, does it? It goes from that to health, to psoriasis, to epilepsy. And what this whole industry does is about the entire person, not just about solving one little problem. So your company needs to focus on the mental, emotional, physical needs of your customers. Number 2, the person needs to feel good and happy. How many times have you heard somebody say this? You know what? I had arthritis in my hand. I've had it for 10 years. And then I put some of your cream on there. And the next thing you know, what do they say? I can't believe how quickly my pain has gone away. That makes that person feel good and happy. That one of the best things about marketing here is people can't shut up when they've been changed by your products or your services. You make them happy, they talk about you. You make them miserable, they talk about you too. So make sure you make them good and happy. Number 3, the person's expectations are continually satisfied. Now, for those of you that are going to get into extraction, you're going to be working with the different oils, either THC or CBD or both. Here's what you need to know. There's going to be so many companies that are going to cut corners to try to make a lot of money. And they're going to take a little tiny bit of percentage of CBD or THC, put it in there, and the rest of it's going to be olive oil. Right? You know it's coming. Everybody knows people are going to come into this industry to cut corners. The problem is, when a person uses that, it has a little bit of an impact. They're going to be disappointed because they're going to feel like they got ripped off for paying the high price that they did. So make sure with your product services, as your farmer, when you connect with the different people, make sure that you understand what their expectations are, meet them, and you'll get customers for life. Lastly, the person can't say no. They can't say no. Have you ever met a horrible salesperson? It's great, isn't it? They try to close you before they know your name. You know these people. Okay, in the cannabis industry, here's one of the great things. When you have a lot of momentum, when you share your passion with the right people, they cannot say no. They have to say yes because it's so interesting. You're fascinated by it, and you can get people to commit to something when you're passionate about it. So if you say, I'm trying to see if this is the right market, well, go out and talk to different people throughout the industry and see if you get a heart for the industry. Because that's what happened to me. I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia. I had never actually heard or seen anything about marijuana or hemp for all my growing up years. I didn't come from a background of that. And what happened, I was living here in Colorado, and a gentleman and I were having a beer because in Colorado with all the microbreweries, if you don't enjoy beer, you should move out of state because you can't do business here unless you have beer. So the bottom line was, by the time he got done telling me about what he was doing in the cannabis industry, I began to get emotional. I was literally brought into the industry because it called me to itself. And that's what is unique about the industry, is this is calling people to leave what they're doing, bring their experience in their industry, and come into an industry that is looking for people that are sold out. And that's how you are irresistible. So, the person needs to be both internally and externally motivated. Your products, if you say this is the only thing our product does and it doesn't motivate the person, they're going to say, I'll think about it. But if you can internally and externally motivate the person, guess what's going to happen? They're going to come back to you over and over and over again. So, what makes this industry unique? How do you know whether or not you're the right person to go into cannabis? Well, we need to talk about some of the values that the majority of people have. Number one, you got fill in there for your notes. Hopefully everybody's got notes. And it says this unrivaled passion. Okay, I've talked to people in all different industries, in banking industry, in accounting, and lawyers, and networking, and all these different industries. You'll find people that say, let me share with you what I do, and they'll shake somebody's hand, and then they will be boring. You know what I'm talking about. The person gives you a speech they've been given for 10 years for the 30-second elevator pitch. Okay, that's not like this industry. This industry, people are losing sleep because of their excitement about what happened in their day. Yesterday was a 14-hour day for our team. We were creating these notes in the PowerPoint. We were taking all the information that we've been gleaning over the past couple of years. I had a hard time sleeping last night. You know why? Because my passion is blowing out all the other passions I've ever had. And so if you have 24/7, you're thinking about cannabis, you can't get it off your mind. It's like a splinter in your brain and you love it. You might be called to this industry because you have unrivaled passion, and that drives your business growth. Number two, unwavering faith. The people that talk about their cannabis products, what cannabis can do for you, are not wishy-washy. They are completely dedicated to the industry. They have a faith that is unwavering, and they're going to say this: I'm going to start in cannabis, I'm going to be successful in it, and I'll do whatever it takes. And you just don't have that kind of belief system that most people have in different industries. And lastly, unconditional community. Unconditional community. Team-oriented and secret sharing. Okay. One of the companies that we run is called the Global Equipping Center, and that provides executive coaching just for normal business people, because cannabis is anything but normal. You find the most abnormal people in cannabis. That's why we started the Hemp Business Advisors. And here's what I know, is that when you coach someone, you can see their level of dedication, you see their commitment, but you don't know whether or not they're truly about themselves or about everyone else. When you go to a hemp summit, a marijuana summit, and you walk in the door, you walk in and it's literally like family. It's unbelievable how many times I've walked in and I have people I've met the first time who will hug me that I've never met before. It's like I'm coming to a family reunion and everybody's happy. You don't have to convince people to be happy in the cannabis industry. They're happy. So here's what it is. It is team-oriented. It's if he learned something new. Now listen, it's not his secret business formula. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about he learned something new in cannabis. And we're talking, and I say, Bruce, what have you learned? And he says, I've got this new secret I just learned, and he will share it with me. You know why? Because he knows something. He knows that in community, we're all going to grow our businesses. That's not true in the accounting industry. You will not find them sharing best practices, best policies, secrets that they're learning. In fact, there's somebody in this very room that shared with me, shared with a whole room a secret that I couldn't believe he shared. And then I was reminded, this is not normal business. This is about community. So if you don't like people, you might not want to get into cannabis because this is about people. Okay. So here's what, if you're looking, as we wrap up part one, if you're looking for possibly getting into the cannabis industry, you want to take it to the next level, we have an inexpensive, it's $99 a month, executive coaching program specifically for the cannabis industry that we help people to launch companies. That's for your new, possibly your entrepreneurs, you're wanting to get in, and what we want you to do is we want you to email us. You can, our email is on the paperwork. It's email at the hempbusinessadvisors.com. And just put in the subject line step 1, And we're going to give you a one-page PDF for you to fill out so we know exactly how to help you. So if you're watching this online, you'd like to Skype us here in Fort Collins, Colorado, that's great. If you'd like to meet with us, we have a sign-up sheet. We meet with all people in the cannabis industry to help them with their business absolutely for free. So, fascination and commitment. You're about to see some of the worst business practices that have ever been recorded in cannabis. There are people getting in this industry that are so greedy, that are all about themselves, that don't know about anything, and they just are going to foul up everyone else. And you're going to see that. And then you're going to find people that come in that are going to raise the level of excellence in the industry. Now, I want to share with you publicly about my best and worst expo I've been to since getting a passion for this industry. The worst experience I ever had is called Indo Expo. It was at the Denver Mart this year. It was the worst expo I've been to in over 20 years. I typically go to 10 or 20 business expos. It was horrible. Number one, it was overpriced. It was $150 per person. Number two, there was absolutely no parking whatsoever. When we arrived as a team, we're excited to get in. We got there early. Guess what happened? The entire parking lot was full. You know why? Because there was a gun show happening on the other side. And so the whole parking lot was full. There's lines around both sides of the building. Now listen. There's no place to park within 20 minutes. And here I spent hundreds of dollars. I'm ready to go in. I'm excited, and I can't get in the door. And you know what I realized? These people don't know how to run a company because it was all about greed. Let me prove it to you. If you're a great company, you want to make sure that every person is experiencing what you're doing. However, if you oversell, there's no possibility to reach those people's needs. Therefore, I will never again go to another Indo Expo, and I will talk people out of it all day long. And by the way, if you have a bad experience, I hope you share it with other people too, so we keep the quality high, because that's what happened at NoCo Hemp Expo. See, Morris Beagle knows how to run an organization. And the first time I went there, it was at the Budweiser Event Center here in Loveland, Colorado. There was tons of parking. There was 6,500 people that flew in from all over the world for that. And by the time the event was over, I said to myself, this is the event I want to be a part of. I want to be a part of something like this. So here's what I know. When you have momentum, your products, your services are going to outshine those around you. And when you're truly community focused, you're going to lift up those in the cannabis industry. Therefore, my challenge to you is, if you're looking into this industry, ask yourself the question, do I have momentum that works with the people that are here? Am I passionate about THC and CBD? Am I passionate about changing people's lives? And if I could think about doing something else more, you shouldn't get into it. Well, we look forward to seeing you at part 2, and we'll be sharing some of the deeper secrets about how the industry works.